Jason,
Where?
we're doing a podcast.
Just crack open a fucking LaCroix on mic.
Oh, dude, I hate that you know it's a LaCroix. That pisses me off.
Come on, what, you drinking a beer? You drinking a beer at noon?
Hey, some of us don't got full-time jobs. I can do whatever I want. Like drink this sparkling, naturally essenced lime water.
I didn't like that description of it.
That's what's on the can, so I have horrible news.
Wait, okay, hang on. I have a question for you on the note of sparkling waters, because
let's do it.
There was a time, and that time was 2014, when I just I just sort of started to see the sparkling waters pop up all over the place, and I thought they tasted like absolute ass, and like the joke on the internet was like all those things about like LaCroix tastes like someone opened a can of sparkling water and then shouted a flavor in the other room or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way about these characters when they first emerged into our collective consciousness?
I did. I really didn't like it. I had tried LaCroix. I remember like Snow, our old roommate, had started drinking LaCroix. And this was in 2015, 2016. And I tried one and I was like, I like limes, and I like had one sip and I was like, I don't like this. But like I also had an issue when I was younger where like I didn't like flavored water. Like it was just like I was like, be water or be juice. This is nonsense.
Yes.
But it was like, I don't know. I kind of like turned myself onto sparkling water as time went on, because at the time you have to remember that like I was mostly drinking like soda. Like it was mostly like syrup that I was drinking at the time.
You were an absolute fiend for soda. And I say that as a fellow fiend for soda at the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, my poison in 2014 time was Diet Mountain Dew, and then after that,
he's back.
JD, do you hear that? It's JD Vance ordering donuts like a weirdo.
Justin Delman Vance.
Oh God, he's listening. I hope he's listening. Loyal listener.
I hope he's listening.
I hope he's listening. Hey, JD Vance, go fuck yourself. Anyway, so we Diet Mountain Dew was my poison for the longest time, and then it was like I switched to caffeine-free drinks, so it was ginger ale, it was caffeine-free Diet Coke, both of which I still enjoy from time to time. But I went from like diet caffeinated soda to diet caffeine-free soda to like the sparkling ice drinks, which are essentially sparkling water with like the tiniest, most minuscule amount of like a little bit of sugar and juice. But like not even enough to like register in the nutrition facts. Like it's just
a little bit of sugar.
It's just a little bit, which is astonishing to me. Like the taste difference between sparkling ice and every other like sparkling water beverage. Like, do you know that like every other sparkling water in the world could add like one tiny drop of sugar and it would actually taste good? But so I'll still drink sparkling ice, and that kind of led me to drinking LaCroix. And I feel like my mix of like sparkling ice and LaCroix being my two favorite drinks right now, like that I rotate through, has probably made me the most hydrated I've been ever in my entire life.
To the surprise of no one, we are sponsored by none of these people and are receiving no money for Justin's ringing endorsement.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely not sponsored by LaCroix. I am, but we're not. Drink LaCroix.
Hold on, sidebar. When did
Drink
you
LaCroix.
When did you pick up when did you get that sponsor deal?
Do you know what bothers me? I'm abandoning the bit. Do you know what bothers me as I look at this LaCroix can?
Yeah, sure.
It says 0 calorie, 0 sweetener, 0 sodium equals innocent. They're like, we're just a little LaCroix. We're not bad for you like those other drinks. We're just a little innocent LaCroix. You can have us without feeling guilty. Like, it's kind of like alluring you a little bit. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. You could just be water.
Why are you sensually shimmying your shoulders as you say this, Justin?
Don't act like you can see me. Don't put that out there.
Why do you keep why are you like kind of pulling at your shirt to reveal a little bit of shoulder and giving like a ooh sort of a face?
Why are you holding up a paper sign that says ooh la la?
Why are your eyes popping out of your head and your tongue rolling onto the floor like a fruit by the foot?
Why haven't your eyebrows stopped bouncing for the last 20 minutes?
Yeah, can you turn down the volume on the sound of your eyebrows bouncing
episode?
like little strings, like boing, boing, boing?
Boing, 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 boing. Just the whole episode.
I still maintain all these years later, if I had one superpower, it would be to be a Looney Tunes character, just to be able to do shit like that.
That is a bonkers idea for a superpower. You used to say it was just you wanted to just be Danny Phantom.
Okay, I mean, look, if we're being actual factual here, if I had to steal one person's superpowers, I would steal Danny Phantom superpowers because it's the best superpowers to steal. But like I always thought it was just for the sheer amount of goofs I could be doing, what I would do to be able to I just want to be able to like cock back like I'm about to run and then run so fast that there's like a dust silhouette of myself. Like I want that. I want to be able to walk off of something, float in the air for a while, look down, notice I'm about to fall, and then just like have a sign that says yikes at the ready so I could, just pull that out.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. However, I think that like there's a little bit of underestimation there about like how in real life, how so much of like Looney Tunesification would just be like body horror, like truly horrifying shit to see in real life.
This is so true. So here's my counter to that. When my eyes pop out of my head and my tongue rolls out of my mouth and I do like an awooga, then like my eyes turn into cartoon eyes and my tongue turns into a cartoon tongue. It's not like my actual human, wet, disgusting 4K tongue rolling out of my mouth. It is like a fun little cartoon thing.
Sold, greenlit, send it.
Oh no, it just got shelved by Warner Brothers.
Oh, fuck, God. You know what? I did write down what I wanted to talk about today, and the first three words are, I am upset. This is unironically a perfect segue into what I wanted to start this episode with. I am angry.
Are you angry at the fact that a year ago Warner Brothers shelved Acme versus the Looney Tunes or whatever?
Well, yeah, first of all, yes, but...
Me too.
I am presently upset with the Walt Disney Corporation.
Why? They've never done anything wrong.
This is going to date this episode, but I don't give a shit. They canceled the fucking Acolyte.
Yeah, I saw that.
After one season, and it was so good. It was like some good original shit, and it was really, it was very refreshing content, and it was really upsetting. But like, what pisses me off about it is just this huge, I don't know, industry-wide trend recently of like shows getting a season one and that acting as like a pilot. It sucks. Like, why are we getting these like such like short seasons that like oftentimes don't go past a season one, maybe a season two if a show is lucky. Like TV shows used to be like, we'll do a pilot episode, and then if that does well, we'll do 25 episodes, and then we'll do 10 of those, and that's television, baby. But like, I don't understand the point of doing like how Disney Plus has been doing even appointment viewing, where you still are seeing it like once a week, but you're only getting 8 episodes. Like, it's so stupid. They could be like rolling out new episodes and like working on episodes later in the season, like, you know, a normal television production does. But like, I'm really tired of like studios just like not having faith in their content anymore. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, it's dumb. I hate that like you just don't get long orders of television seasons now. For comedies especially, they used to order like 20 something episodes per season.
Yeah.
But because these streamers, because most of them do just kind of drop everything all at once, they kind of are just incentivized to make seasons shorter because people will just watch the seasons, and it doesn't matter how many episodes they necessarily have. People will, you know, keep their Netflix subscription because, you know, there's going to be a new season of that 90s show, even though, you know, back in the day, that show would have gotten 20 something seasons and fans would have had so much to watch, but it's so much cheaper for them to just like do 10 and people will still subscribe anyway. It makes a little bit less sense with like, what do they call it now when you know, just do one episode a week? Like, it makes sense to keep people around for longer.
Yeah. Appointment viewing.
Appointment viewing. I'll have to schedule it in my appointment.
That's just what it's called. I didn't make it up.
What do you mean you didn't make it up?
I didn't make it up.
That's a classic Justinism if I've ever heard one.
He's always saying appointment viewing. something unfortunate will happen, and he'll just look at the camera and go, appointment viewing.
Yeah, we had cameras on us at all times when we were in college. No, we didn't. I lied, and I'm sorry.
But like, I don't understand though, because it's like, I get what you're saying in terms of like comedies, and like it's a lot of the streaming services are really only putting stuff out now. Like they're not really doing like the old Netflix model of kind of just like throwing so much content out and just seeing what lands. Like they're really like being like, we're only going to put out stuff that's going to do really well, probably because a lot of them were losing money. But it's like, I understand that like they're not doing like a lot of reality anymore. They're not doing a lot of comedy anymore. But like even shows like the Arrowverse shows used to get like 24 episode seasons.
I guess maybe the difference there is like those shows, I guess up until sort of the end, like they could kind of produce those fairly cheaply. I mean, if you look at the like budgets for, I said towards the end, like they got more involved, but like a lot of it, it's like, it's pretty simple locations. Most of that budget, a lot of that budget is just going into like the visual effects. I think with your Star Wars shows and your Houses of Dragons and whatnot, they're putting some real fucking dollar signs behind each episode. So like if the show's not working out for them, they're just gonna axe it. As long as they let me have my precious Andor, I'll be okay.
Yeah, but how long was, because I thought Game of Thrones had longer seasons than House of the Dragon does. House of the Dragon only has 8 episode seasons.
Yeah, they had 10. They used to do 10.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think even the Star Wars shows though, like they film most of that in the volume anyway. I don't really understand like production costs being skyrocketed, but
yeah, Lord knows.
Whatever. It was very nice. It was a good show. At least I will give them credit in the sense that like, they teased 1 or 2 things in the very last episode, and this isn't a spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it, but it is like one complete story in season 1. Like it's, it would have been nice to see these characters continue and to see like the story progress, but it did at the very least have an ending, which is nice, which is what a lot of shows don't get the opportunity to have.
And not to spoil the end of The Acolyte as well, but I thought it was very powerful to have Watto come out at the end and be like, and I was the Acolyte all along, Annie. I thought that was really touching.
It was like, hey, Annie, have you heard of the Acolyte? This is my friend, the Acolyte from the Acolyte. And I was like, whoa, Misa Jar Jar Binks.
I thought it was.
I looked at the camera and I was like, appointment viewing.
I thought it was really, really touching when Jar Jar Binks held that lightsaber and the last episode of it. And then he just turned it off and ate the whole thing. I thought that was really sweet. That was a really touching callback to our childhood.
When he munched and crunched the shit out of that lightsaber hilt, and then just went like, just farted. This is awesome.
He farted and the Kyber crystal came out of his butt. I thought that was great. I thought that was just like a very subtle nod to our childhood.
Yeah, and the Kyber crystal that came out of his butt was in the exact shape of like the Rebellion logo, and it's like, foreshadowing.
There is hope. There is a new hope.
Wow.
One might argue.
Yeah, that's this is to be continued in Star Wars: A New Hope.
We don't get any confirmation that Kyber crystals aren't made by Gungans pooping or
that has
farting,
never
right?
that has never been canonized that is not the case, or that it can't be. It's speaking of like shows that have gotten canceled or anything, like do you have any like show or movie or anything that like got canceled that you would bring back for like one more season that like you feel like deserve to be wrapped up but like just didn't get the chance to?
Oh yeah, well, I guess like if it has to be like a TV show doing one more season, bring me my Hannibal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you fucking loved Hannibal.
Honestly, it's been like a decade. Give it to me a decade later. Set it a decade later. An older, more wizened Mads Mikkelsen. Oh.
You were a real Hannibaler.
Oh, dude, I was Hanniballing at all times. That's one show that I've actually not finished season 3 because I've been too heartbroken that there will be no season 4 to actually do it.
Yeah. That happens sometimes. Yeah. That's like what's such a bummer about like how common this practice is becoming, because it's even happening at the level of like the MCU where they're throwing in like cameos for new characters and stuff that used to be really exciting, but now those projects aren't going anywhere. Kind of like just to show a character, and it's like, oh, okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. America is so excited to see the guy who plays Roy Kent be Hercules or whatever in Thor 5 Eat My Asshole.
That is what it's called, and Taika Waititi is returning.
That's the energy I get from Taika Waititi now. It's just like, eat my asshole.
Do you have like a movie or something that like?
Well, I should say also like, and I know it's theoretically going to happen, but like Community movie, I'm looking forward to that. Give me that. I need that.
That is, well, that's not theoretically happening. That is happening, like actively right now.
They keep saying it's. They're actually filming.
Like Donald Glover confirmed to come back. Like everybody's confirmed to come back except for Chevy Chase for obvious reasons. But yeah, the entire cast is like actively talking about it. Well, actually, I don't know if they're shooting, but they're in the very least they're like deep in pre-pro.
Yeah.
But that movie's happening. Like that has been confirmed years ago. Like they are doing it right now.
That's my only concern is they confirmed it years ago, and it's sort of like I've been burnt before. I will believe it when I see it. When I can watch a trailer for the Community movie, I will believe it is happening.
It's like what I used to say. I think I actually said this in like a really old Boycast episode back in the before times where I was like, I will believe that a Flash movie is coming out when like the sequel has been on DVD for 2 years. Like it's like I still, and that still hasn't happened. So the Flash movie doesn't exist and I live in a very happy timeline.
That's a better world you live in. That's a much better world that you live in.
Yeah.
Man, talk about a movie that tried a thing and fucked it up so bad that Deadpool and Wolverine like actually did a good job of. You know what I mean?
It's really like everything about the Flash is like missed potential. The movie.
Very much so. Well, that's what happens when you have 25 people.
Very much so. Barry Allen, much so.
Oh my goodness!
Thank you.
That's. Are you waving to the crowd?
Thank you.
Over where you are as well.
Thank you.
I've like I want to say ever since I was in like middle or high school, I just ended up like hitching my wagon to like a bunch of shows that were constantly on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Like I love My Precious Hannibal. We had to fight like hell to get our 3 seasons. Fucking Chuck had a whole campaign of like a bunch of us going to Subway just to fucking like tell the executives at Subway like, hey, don't you fucking dare let NBC cancel this show. We know you sponsor it, you sons of bitches. You give me my check. You give me my check.
And they're like, we're dealing with like a whole Jared thing right now. Can you guys come back later?
We deal with that in hell. Give me just tell NBC to give him a fucking 5th season. Come on. What's Zachary Levi doing, huh? He'll never become a movie star and then squander that pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's he's out there. Not that you asked, but I have answers to this too, Jason.
I figured you were going to go into it.
I mean, my obvious go-to all the time is the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series. I feel like that got cut real short, real quick.
How many seasons that brother have?
It had 2 seasons. They ended it on like a couple real cliffhangers that like set up some really cool shit that it kind of like ramped up. Like the season finale like really ramped up to a place of like, ooh, we're getting into some cool conflict. And then it was like, anyway, we didn't sell enough action figures, so we're going to shoot all the actors in the head.
So it sounds like the studio is a little bit of an opposite of J. Jonah Jameson, where they wanted less pictures of Spider-Man.
Less pictures per second for sure.
What if they're like, all right, you could do the show, but it can only be 12 frames a second.
Yeah, it's like you have to animate it on 2s if you want to keep going. That's an industry term.
I was going to say, that's a deep cut industry term.
But my funny answer is Gotham Knights.
The fuck is Gotham Knights?
Exactly. So there was a show that came out, I think it was only like 2 years ago, which starred nobody that you've ever heard of. And basically the show is that Batman died. And I'm just going to pull up the wiki real quick so I can like refresh, because this is truly how much this show did not have an impact. In the wake of Bruce Wayne's death, his adopted son, Turner Hayes, forges an unlikely alliance with runaways Harper and Cullen Rowe and the criminal Duella Dent when they are all framed for the murder by the Gotham City Police Department and District Attorney Harvey Dent. The 4 youths amazing, attempt to clear their names and find out who really killed Bruce Wayne with help from Turner's friend Stephanie Brown and Turner's classmate Carrie Kelly, who is secretly the superhero Robin. The mystery of who framed them soon leads to the Court of Owls. Over time, they evolve into becoming Gotham City's new protectors, known as the Gotham Knights.
This looks like actual ass.
It premiered on March 14th and was canceled in June of the same year. This was last year.
Wow, they gave it a little bit more time than I necessarily would have. Wow, wee wah. This is rough looking stuff.
So the reason why I would definitely have this show come back for like, I would have it. This is what I would do. I would want them to keep renewing the show.
Okay.
Forever.
Okay.
Just to see what they would do. Because it was so bad that I really wanted it to get more episodes just to see like what the hell the creators of this show would do if the studio was just like, yeah, we're really vibing with this show, actually. Keep them coming. Like, and they're just like, oh, we didn't think, okay. Like, would it get really good and be a banger? Would they just like waffle for a while? Like, what would happen? I love that idea.
That's a fair point. I feel like, correct me if you can find some more instances of this than I am aware of, but I feel like in the realm of so bad it's good, there's a number of great films that fall into this category, but television doesn't end up there that often, does it? That's really more of a movie phenomena.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like I think that happens with movies because it's such like an isolated experience, but I think with TV shows, they will grow and change over time. So it's like if a show starts bad, it will either typically get worse or get better.
Yeah, it usually doesn't hang out in the same realm.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever, I know the answer to this question is no, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Have you seen...
No.
Okay. It's a really fucking bad movie, but that's what makes it so very good.
Okay.
And that's why I love it. And and if you think to yourself, hang on, I don't think Jason said the title. I didn't, because you answered the question already. So that tells me that you already know what the movie is, so I don't have to say the name of it. Is that correct? Is that fair to say?
Is it The Room?
It is not The Room. No. This movie came out in 2019.
And I don't know. Then what is it?
So you just kind of assumed you knew everything I was going to say and just kind of answered it. I think this is a lovely learning moment that I'm a little bit more complicated of a guy than you think. And maybe
no, I think what I did is you said that you knew the answer was going to be no, so I trusted my good friend Jason and agreed with him.
Yeah, but okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. The movie's called Serenity, and it's not the Firefly one. It's the one with Matthew McConaughey, where he's trying to catch a big fish, and Anne Hathaway's his ex-wife.
Sounds great.
And Jeremy Strong plays The Rules.
What?
Yeah, Jeremy Strong plays a character who is The Rules.
In a similar vein, I do have another question for you. So we talked about like what's like one show or movie that got canceled you would bring back, but like I have a question that goes a little deeper. Who is one person that was canceled? That like, well, hold on. That like you kind of wish like, you know, wasn't a shitty person who had done something bad. Like which one like stung?
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to be like, which one of these victims of crimes by the woke police would you set free from their handcuffs and shackles?
Yeah, I realized how that was sounding.
What truth teller would you set free from the iron bars of wokeism?
And a reminder, this episode is sponsored by JD Vance.
James Dylan Vance, our hero, our protector, our Gotham Knight.
John Denver Vance. But yeah, what would be if you had like a person that like, you know, which person like got canceled, like which one hurt you the most that you like wish was not a horrible person?
I think the one that hurt me the most in my life was Chris Hardwick.
Oh, that's a good one.
He mattered a lot to me.
Yeah, he was like the champion of like teenage and early 20s nerds in like the early 2000s.
It for me, it was more like the 2000, like the early 2010s,
like 2010.
like when like when he had the Nerdist podcast was the first podcast I ever listened to, and I would
That's
like
wild.
I went back and listened through the entire thing. I listened to the entire catalog for basically like the first, I want to call it like 400 episodes or something like that. I loved it, man. I thought it was incredible.
Holy hell.
But yeah, I remember I was on set for like a commercial for like I want to say it was a dog food or something like that. And I remember seeing, like, when I had some downtime, like just seeing articles about like everything, you know, that he ended up being canceled for. And I was like, oh God, no, not Chris. Come on, man. Were you a Hardwick fan?
Passively, not as much as you were, for sure.
I was gonna say I could have seen him getting under your skin, like being a little annoying to you.
He was definitely a little bit annoying to me. He was kind of like a non-offensive presence in my life, but like I think like the Nerdist was kind of just like everywhere. It was less Nerdist Chris Hardwick that annoyed me and more like at midnight Chris Hardwick that annoyed me, like that era of Chris Hardwick, like right before everything went down.
Yeah, when he was like hosting all those like post TV show things or whatever.
Yeah.
He also, I also, okay, one other point of criticism to his professional career, you know, specifically, I think he created one of my least favorite genres of thing in the world, which is like a conversation show about a piece of media that is produced by the fucking studio that makes the media. It is the only form of someone sucking their own dick that you're allowed to show on national television, and I can't stand it.
It really, yeah, just the shows about shows.
It's the shows
like,
about shows.
It's like, this is our show about our show. Yeah,
yes.
This is our show about our show.
I remember seeing advertisements towards the end of Game of Thrones and be sure to tune to HBO for our podcast about Game of Thrones. It's like,
I think they still do that for House of the Dragon.
I'm sure they do. They all do this shit now, and it drives me insane.
I think for me, like Chris Hardwick wasn't really that big of one for me. I think like honestly, I don't know if this is the one that like stung the most. I think like probably the person that like, well, I'll say my smaller one first. I think like one that just kind of like really bummed me out was Danny Masterson, who played Hyde on That 70s Show.
Oh yeah.
Because I was a huge fan of That 70s Show. Hyde is such a great like sitcom character and is very funny. And like every time that I go back and watch any episode of that show now, I watch any scene with Hyde and I'm just like, tainted. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I think the biggest one for me that's like this like actively pisses me off and I've turned entirely against this person is like J.K. Rowling.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not like she got like canceled as much as it was like she can't like nobody's shutting her up. I mean, well, people are now because she's like facing legal battles about transphobic comments she said. But the thing that really bummed me out was just like, you know, you'd see one or two comments from her and you'd be like, oh, okay, like she's just like radical feminist. She's not like transphobic. And then like it just became more and more like she was more and more emboldened as time went on to just like really be like trans people aren't real and whatever. So it was just like, God damn it. Harry Potter was like a huge part of my childhood and like a huge part of like young adulthood, and it just sucked. Like those books growing up, I know that people will be like, you know, there's better media out there, there's better fantasy out there, whatever, like sure, but that's what I grew up on, so whatever. Seeing such an accessible introduction to reading is one of the things that made me want to write, like in general. Like it's just, or like it really like fueled a lot of my creativity growing up. So it just kind of sucked to be like, oh, and also, you know, that person is bigoted and not accepting and whatever.
So do you find yourself unable to like consume, you know, the films or reread the book? Well, obviously you can't reread the books because I've had them for 3 years, your copies of them, because I didn't want to buy them. But like, do you find it that you are like unable to actually, go back and watch it or read it anymore? Or like you can, but there's always that little thing of like, the person that made this sucks butts.
I think it's a little bit of both. It depends on the thing, because like I have a little bit of an easier time rewatching the movies because she wasn't heavily involved. I cannot watch the Fantastic Beasts movies, but that's not a loss. I had no interest in like. I watched the first one. I watched the second one. I didn't even see the third one because I was like, she was like full out like huge transphobe at the time, and I was like, I'm not giving her any money. Also, but I don't feel as bad rereading the books because I'm not like directly contributing or funding J.K. Rowling by doing that, because it's something I already own, and like I have a much more personal connection to that media than I do to like her as a person.
Sure.
So I don't feel as bad like going back and rewatching. Like if I watch a Harry Potter movie, I watch my DVDs that I bought, 15 years ago. Like I'm not streaming it anywhere. I don't want her to get a fucking cent from my relationship with this media. But yeah, it depends on the day. It depends on how I'm feeling. But like it is really tough to go back and feel comfortable engaging with that, which does suck.
Well, and I think the thing that really hits the worst about her is the lack of knowledge that because of her like terrible comments and everything, that so many people turned away from it, that so many people are completely unaware of the crimes of Grindelwald, because he's a bad man and we need to prosecute him. But because of this, people have turned away and people are not aware of his crimes. And we can do both. We can despise this woman, but also, make sure that Grindelwald sees justice.
Do you remember in Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald where like the last scene is like him being like, we're going to stop World War II. And everybody was like, no, you can't. And I'm like, we could.
Yeah, if you're wizards and you could stop World War II, that'd be sick.
But like that was seen as like a horrible thing for him to do because he was like interfering with history. And I'm like, J.K. Rowling, you chose that to be the thing that like you want to make sure happens is World War II. I don't know. I feel like it's a fiction world and you could make anything happen. Weird choice.
Yeah, kind of an odd call there. I want to be clear. I went on that whole tirade about making sure people were aware of the crimes of Grindelwald. I remember nothing about that movie. I remember nothing. That movie, like,
yeah, this is where I'm like, damn, the one person that got canceled that hurt me the most, my co-host Jason Paul, right now.
I just want to say that like my retinas did see the images that make up Grindelwald and his crimes, yet my brain processed none of it.
Yeah, I feel about the same. This has been a very media-heavy episode.
Just a smidge.
But Jason, I think it is time for our Live, Laugh, Love segment.
I guess it's time for our Live, Laugh, Love segment.
Our Lig, Lag, Lug.
I'm not going to take that again.
This is a segment, for those of you who are not familiar, where we say one thing that made us feel alive recently, or like we're fucking living. Like one thing that made us laugh and one thing that we either loved or made us feel loved. Do you want to go first this week, Jason? I went first last week. Do you want to go first this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but the thing that made me like live this week was so I was supposed to be a part of a bowling league with a couple of friends of mine. I was very excited about it. It was just gonna be for like I think 3 months, and then I got there. And apparently this was not just like a fun party to hang out and stuff before the league. This was like a meeting, and during the meeting, I found out, as well as the other 3 members of the team, that apparently the league was going to cost $24 every time I showed up, plus like other dues I'd have to pay, and was going to last for 34 weeks.
Oh, that's a lot more than 3 months.
It's many more than 3 months. And so my live moment, I was so anxious the whole time because I was like, oh, I know they need a fourth for their team, and I'm going to be putting them in a bad spot if I dropped out, and so I don't want to do it, but also like that's not what I signed up for. And just like in the spirit of like when you cancel a plan, the moment where I was finally like, I'm sorry guys, no, I can't do it. I can't drive an hour every week to come to this bowling alley for until April of next year. I just can't do that. And then being like, that's okay, we'll find someone else. Oh, the jubilance.
Smash cut to you pushing the doors open, and it's just, don't you forget about me. Just fist in the air. You're like,
no, it was me, minor spoilers, Jesse Pinkman in the car at the end of Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? Just like crying, be like, yes!
Yeah, just,
That was me. That was very much me.
Oh, man.
My laugh is, I've been meaning to do this for a while, but because my favorite movie podcast is about to talk about David Lynch, I expedited this in my viewing. I watched the original Dune movie from the 1980s.
Wonderful.
And had a righteous good time watching that movie.
God, those like shields and stuff. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, the shields are amazing. Fucking Sting as Faye Ratha. I think it's Faye Ratha. The Harkonnen homie.
Yeah.
Austin Butler, but it's Sting. And also, I really like that. I had a good laugh. Like, and the opening of the movie, like this group of people show up to the Emperor's place and they're all like wearing black and bald. And I'm like, oh, it's the Harkonnen. And then it turns out it's very much not the Harkonnen. It's some other people. And then when you see the Harkonnen, who in the new Dune movies are a bunch of like pale bald people, all of these guys are gingers. I just thought that was really, really funny.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it was so wonderful. And then my love is sort of an anticipatory love that starting on Monday, I am going up north to stay with my family for a couple of weeks, and my parents have a little vacation place they just got up in northern Michigan, and I'm gonna get to spend like a week there with my parents and my brother and my sister-in-law, and I'm very excited to get to spend all that time with my family.
Very cute, very nice.
Justin, do you have a live? Follow-up question: do you have a love? And if you have one more time, a laugh? In any order you see fit.
Okay, I'll do it in whatever order I see fit. My live this week, you know what? This might be a little corny, might be a little cheesy, but it's true. In a smaller sense, my live this week has just been like genuinely like doing this podcast.
Aww.
In a greater sense, like having more time to be creative lately has been really nice. You know, we just moved like 2 months ago, and we've been doing like a lot of logistic stuff and a lot of like traveling and craziness. And like, it's been really nice to kind of like settle back into doing some creative stuff again. It's I don't know. It kind of like revitalizes me every day to just be like stoked to work on stuff.
That's very, very sweet.
Shut up. My laugh this week has been, Jason, you know, I love Game Grumps. And
you sure do.
I have for so long. And for those of you who don't know Game Grumps, they are a Let's Play channel on YouTube. They have a sense of humor that just makes me chuckle endlessly. They make me exhale very sharply in a very nasal way. And they have this series going on right now where they're playing a game called Supermarket Simulator, and it is the funniest shit. I have been dying laughing every episode, and there is an energy to it and like an aura to it that is so happy and pleasant. It's all the good vibes, and I have been just cackling away. And my love this week, I don't have like a feel loved love, but I do have something that I really love this week. I told you this recently, but I don't think I talked about it on the pod, but like I have been working my way through Better Call Saul for the first time.
Sure.
Oh my God. I've been watching season 6 of Better Call Saul, and don't worry if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil anything, but like, oh my God, is it so fucking good. I haven't felt this way. Well, I was going to say I haven't felt this way about a TV show since Breaking Bad, but that's not true because I felt this way about Barry, which is also an incredible show. But
you inhaled Barry.
Oh, I watched that shit in like 3 days.
Through Barry.
Yeah, I watched that shit in under a week for sure. I think I watched it in a couple days. It was so good. Breaking Bad, like Vince Gilligan just has this way of like structuring his show that like he follows a very similar like ramp up intensity structure in Better Call Saul that like every episode in season 6 is just payoff, 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 payoff. And I'm eating it up. Oh, it's so good. I'm loving it. It's very good. So I guess actually, yeah, I think this was a very media focused Live, Laugh, Love for me for a very media focused episode. But that's just Twill. That's just a little fun fact about me. I don't know.
That's just a little thing you need to know about Justin.
That's a little fun fact about me.
I'm excited to get to Better Sal at some point.
You'd love it.
I know I would. I just need to commit to it. I think right now I'm still working my way through Twin Peaks. I got to get through all that, and then I feel like
that's a long show, right?
No, not really. I mean, it's 3 seasons, and there is one supposedly bad movie that I need to see.
I thought you were going to say there's 3 seasons, and there is 1 episode per season.
There are 3 seasons, and then there's 1 season.
It's taken me months.
If we're talking about 80s cheese, I'm dining out on it, which is good because it's the only kind of cheese I can eat right now.
I have eaten in the Twin Peaks diner.
The diner that they film?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in Washington.
Well, I knew it. I figured that much. Where is it? Is it Eastern Washington?
I don't remember.
You don't remember you don't remember you don't remember the reason you had to make your way that far out?
Well, I think the reason we went out there is we were going to Olympic, or maybe no. Were we? Mary had some family in town that we were going with. And we had stopped in Forks, Washington for like to see Twilight stuff. And then we had also stopped and we ate at the Twin Peaks diner.
No kidding.
No kidding.
In my head, I was thinking like, when did Justin ever make his way all the way out to Eastern Washington where the show Twin Peaks is set, kind of forgetting how filming something works, where you could just like film the interior of a place and just say it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Forgetting I was in a movie that's coming out this year called Holland fucking Michigan that filmed in Nashville fucking Tennessee.
Humble brag.
Peep that one when it comes out. If all goes as is supposed to, you'll get to see the face of your boy looking really Jeffrey Dahmer-esque the way they did me up in that one.
We're looking really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Holland, Michigan, JD Vance, and LaCroix.
In no particular order, but we are most sponsored by JD Vance.
We are most sponsored by John Davro Vance.
John Dillinger Vance.
John Dillinger Vance. Oh my God. Well, Jason, TikTok, looks like it's about that time to rot your brain.
Oh, fuck. For a second, I was like, yeah, I guess it is time to wrap it up. And then I forgot we have one final segment we like to do on this show.
Yeah, sorry. I looked at my watch and, the onomatopoeia for TikTok comes out of the watch every time I click it. And there's no C in there. It's TikTok. Interesting. Huh. So it's time to rot your brain.
Bring it. Bring it, bitch.
Oh, all right. This is a segment where I introduce Jason, everybody's chronically offline king, to some chronically online words or phrases until we have officially rotted. Everybody in the audience is going with me. Rotted Jason's brain. I will say the word or phrase. Jason will take a guess at what it means, and then I will award him 1 to 5 internet points based on how close he is. The more internet points that you have, Jason, the closer you are to the correct definition, but it is also directly indicative of how rotten your brain has already become. So there is incentive to get this right, and there's incentive to get it wrong. So
whoever wins, we lose.
This is a word that, like, I can't remember if I have actually told you about yet or not. So, like, I'm a little bit nervous that you might know this one, but I really, really like that. I like the risk that, like, you might already know it, because that still means that your brain is rotting, in which case the segment is still effective.
And it also goes to show that no matter what, this game or not, if my brain rots, it is because of you.
Ugh. Sorry, I was just imagining a beautiful world where that is true. So, Jason, your brain rot word of the day is glaze. Do you already know what this slang term means?
No, but the problem is, of course, glaze.
Yay!
Glaze is a word.
Oh, it sure is.
And there are usages for the word. And the problem I know I'm having right now is that anything I think of is going to be associated with the actual definition of the word glaze, which, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm assuming has very little to do with this word you've brought to me, correct?
I can't tell you one way or the other. That's not how the game works. But how the game does work is that you have to take a guess now at what the definition of the word is.
Huh. You know, I think
and a reminder, Jason, the clock is TikTok dancing.
Oh, God damn it. I think glaze is a way of someone in the very online LGBTQ community to be gay and be absolutely on fire queen. Like this, they are glazing right now. Like, oh, go off queen, glaze. You know, they are glazing.
Oh man!
It is a gay person who is set ablaze, in a metaphorical sense only. To be clear.
Wow. Okay, so your thought was like combining like gay and glow and blaze, basically.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna give you. Last week I gave you 2 out of 5 internet points. I'm also gonna give you. Yeah, I'll give you 2 to 5. I'll give you 2 out of 5 internet points again. I'll give you 2 internet points for that.
Okay, so not close.
Because it is still like similar, but not a good thing.
Okay.
So to glaze something is to overhype, praise, or compliment someone to the point where it becomes annoying or cringeworthy.
Oh.
So like to use it in a sentence like, bro, the social network is not that good. You need to stop glazing.
Wow. Can I say something real quick?
Stop glazing, Oomphy,
Oh, fuck you. I have to be honest, of all the internet phrases you have brought to me in the last decade of our friendship, this might be one of my favorites in the sense that like I'm just like, I see it, I understand it, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It makes sense. Because, yeah, like the idea of like, oh, God, every time Jason talks about the masterful dialogue of the social network, my eyes glaze over. So it makes a lot of sense to me.
No, it's not like that.
Well, it seems like it's based around that.
It's no. It's more like making something sound like when you're glazing a donut, it's like making something a little sweeter than it actually is. It's like you're overhyping it. Like it's like, bro, you got to stop glazing. Like
it has no. Wait,
Oofy.
you're telling me the definition of this has nothing to do with the definition of the word glaze? Because I feel like it tracks so perfectly to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like it.
Well, it has to do with the word glaze, as in like
to glaze the donut.
Yeah.
That's okay. I retract what I said. I like it less.
Well, that bums me out. But
think the internet's bad and we should get rid of it.
Well, I have great news for you, Jason. Even though you have only 2 internet points, you have now learned the definition, which means for the second episode in a row, because you now know what it means, you have been awarded 5 total internet points. And now you're up to 10 internet points. And when you get 100 internet points, you get a free sandwich at Subway.
That rules. That's awesome. I was about to ask you.
It's like one specific franchised Subway in Palm Springs. So you do kind of have, but it's good. It's all right.
How many?
Well, it's like 3 out of 5, but it's good.
How many internet?
It's okay.
How many internet points do I need to get a gumball? If I wanted a gumball,
you can't have a gumball.
What? Okay, Justin, I know we're having a lot of fun on this show here, but how many internet points do I need to? How many do I need to get to have a gumball?
You can't get a gumball. You can't. You would never be able to afford a gumball.
Okay, Justin. Like, Oh, okay. Very funny. Very funny. This is a funny podcast. How many do I like? Where are we at on the gumball? I just need a number. I just need a goal on my target to hit, and then we can we can figure it out from there.
Jason, I have horrible news. You actually are not allowed to have more than one total internet point if you want a gumball, and you already have 10. So you can actually never get a gumball.
Wait, are you saying I'm losing 9 of my internet points right now because I want a gumball?
No. You are not allowed to have, like, the more internet points you have, the less they will let you get a gumball. So you can't have more than one internet point if you want to still have gumballs in your life.
So,
but you have 10. So,
oh shit, fuck. Is there something can I trade in 10 internet points for something so I can sort of clear my wallet of internet points so I can go get a gumball?
No.
But what? It doesn't even have to be a red gumball. It could be a green gumball. That's fine. I'll do a green gumball. Is that okay? Can I get a green ball? Can I get a green gumball? Can I get a green gumball?
Bro, gumballs aren't even that good. Stop glazing. Stop glazing gumballs.
Fuck what you think about I don't give a shit what you think about gumballs. I just want my fucking gumball. I'll get rid of these points. There's that woman sitting in the front row of the audience for the live audience we have here. Can I just give her? Ma'am, would you take these internet points?
Don't bother the audience.
Stop walking away. Take the points. Stop running away. Take my points. All right,
and that's our show for today.
Take them from me.
Welcome. Come back next time. Bye.